All right, finna go ahead and get it started. What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the Life of a Champ podcast. Today's episode 100 and what's 147, 148, something like that. I think it's 148. Today's topic we're going to be discussing. We're going to be discussing an interesting topic. We're going to be discussing adding fuel to your fire, and more importantly, what that looks like is going to be emotional motivators. This is going to be a very, very important topic that I feel like this could truly improve everybody if they do become very, very clear and defined with what this looks like for them. And I'm gonna give you some insight of what it actually looks like to me, so you can hopefully take some of it and add it to your foundational base for yourself. But a few things I want to mention before I go ahead and get it started. Make sure you go ahead and follow me on TikTok, just Life of a Champ podcast on TikTok. Also, if you can't catch the full live podcast, make sure you go ahead and tap in with the YouTube clips as well as the YouTube shorts as well. Make sure you go ahead and leave a like on those as well. I'll be having um, I'll be having a lot more come out here soon. If there's a specific podcast that you want me to make clips for, make sure you go ahead and let me know for sure, for sure. As well as what else am I missing? Yeah. Also, if there's any specific podcast topics that you think could potentially help you guys out, definitely let me know for sure in the comments, whether you're watching this or watching this live. So yes, we're going to be discussing emotional motivators. And yeah, one thing I want to say before I get into it, I'm very, very close to hitting I'm very close to hitting two important goals. So if you could definitely help me out with those, I would definitely be more than appreciative of those things. So those two goals are going to be 100,000 total views. I'm almost there. I'm at 94,000 if I'm not mistaken. As well as, well, you can't really help me out with this one, but this is going to be hitting my 500th video uploaded on this channel. So I'll be hitting those for sure, beginning of this upcoming month. So stay tuned in for that for sure. I'll definitely be doing something. I want to make I think I'm gonna make another like a actual video where I actually record it and actually edit it instead of doing it live. So definitely stay tuned in for that for sure, for sure. So like I said, getting into it, emotional motivators. So these are things that I would say you definitely should remind yourself of on the daily, because this really cannot hurt you at all, and it's gonna put your main focuses that you truly need to focus in on first. And I would recommend you starting your day with these focuses as opposed to going ahead and being on your phone. And of course, I'm a victim of this, just as you are probably watching this right now. But here, what's very, very important in the morning is if you get your focuses, you make sure your focuses are very, very clear. Because if they're not very clear, and if they're distraction filled, like social media is, right? Which obviously most people, they wake up, they go on their phone, they're instantly distracted, they're instantly distributing their focuses and their focus in many different areas that are truly not important to their life. So with that being said, this is why I'm going to go ahead and recommend for you to go ahead and start your day off with this specific thing, because it is truly, truly important. And I've done it for a little bit, and I see um, nothing but positive benefits truly, because like I had mentioned, you're switching certain habits, and you're able to, like I said, truly just emphasize the things that truly need to be emphasized. And this should give you a kickstart in the morning. And like I said, I'm gonna give you some of the ones that I've definitely added into my routine as of recently, that I feel like at the very least, like I said, in the morning, if not, just doing it throughout the day. And this will definitely help you out. This is not gonna hurt you, and I do believe that there's going to be certain things, certain mindsets, certain things you should adopt, certain things that you should have focus of. That truly should be something that should be a daily thing that you go ahead and revise, because in this game of life, it's so easy to get distracted, and it's so easy to lose focus on the things that you truly know you need to focus in on. So like, for example, let's just say you learn something new in a book. If you're not constantly repeating that same message that you find of such importance and of such value, it's gonna go away, right? Of course it can come back, but quite frankly, it goes away just like with most thoughts. But if you're able to pick out the most important things that you find the most value in, and constantly remind yourself of these things, it's going to be internalized a little bit differently. It's going to be focused on a little bit more, and I feel like that's very, very important. So I'm gonna reiterate this one book that I read recently, or not recently. I've actually read it a few years ago. It was one of the most profound books that I've ever read, and a book that I would recommend for sure. For sure, you go ahead and read if you are looking for any material to go ahead and read. This is going to be. Hold up. Let me turn up the volume real quick. All right, this is going to be Your Next Five Moves by Patrick Bet David. Now, this is going to be more of a business type of book, but I would also say it helps with clarifying the identity and clarifying the goals that you want for your life and kind of where those things come from. And it also does it by illustrating his story. If you don't know who Patrick Bet-David is, he's basically, if I can give you a small rundown, he's a businessman essentially. He's a businessman. He's an entrepreneur who came from a different country, and he moved with his parents over to the United States, and he ran a successful insurance company, if I'm not mistaken. Definitely a very, very good person for you to go ahead and watch. He has a podcast too. It's called the PBD Podcast. Brings a lot of good guests on for sure. Definitely would recommend it for sure. Um, Definitely not going to be any negative side effects of researching that person. But with that being said, one of the concepts in the book that he talks about, which is probably one of the most profound concepts, and one of the concepts that I constantly remind myself of, and more importantly, remind other people of, just so they can become a little bit more clear of what their emotional motivators truly are and where they come from. So there's four things that drive people, right? These four things are going to be advancement, madness, purpose, and individuality. These four things are very, very, very important, and you need to define specifically which resonate with you. And I do believe that all of these things, all these things should resonate with you to an extent, but there's typically going to be one or two that truly stand out to you and truly need to be emphasized for sure. And as of recently, surprisingly, I would say mine has changed. Right when I had first read that book, um, it was definitely something that I already kind of defined for myself. So it was very, very easy to define, and I didn't actually see it that way, the way that they describe it within the book with the little diagram that they show. I wish I could put it up on screen, but unfortunately I can't. But nonetheless, this is going to be I'm going to break down specifically what they look like as well, and I want you to go ahead and leave it in the comments. If you are in here, say what's good in the comments. If there is one of these things that truly resonates with you, I want you to go ahead and put down at least one or two that you think resonates most with you. So this, like I said, first one's going to be advancement. This is going to be advancement in many different aspects. Maybe this is a new goal. Maybe this is meeting a deadline. Maybe this is accomplishing tasks, right? These are going to be the things that motivate you. Motivating could be looking like you checking off certain tasks throughout the day. I know certain people, they love to go ahead and have that feeling of a satisfaction and accomplishment throughout the day, or maybe throughout the week, or maybe throughout the month, where they could just say, I did this, I'm checking off and doing that. So that drives them. That advancement drives them for sure, for sure. So that is going to be one element. The next element, and this is definitely one that I would say resonated with me a lot, for sure, when I first read it. This is going to be individuality. This is going to be lifestyle or potential lifestyle, and this is going to be recognition as well. And of course, there's going to be a lot of different elements that add on to this, but essentially those things can truly be broken down to potential lifestyle and recognition. Definitely a very, very huge one for sure. One that resonated with me. I would say it's in my top three, which I'll get into. These next two are going to be the ones that I would say definitely resonate with me a little bit more, and I'll tell you which one actually replaced it after. And I want you guys to let me know which two you think resonate with me most, right? The next one's going to be madness. This is going to be composition or competition. This is going to be, like I said, seeking competition or getting fuel from um, having an opposition that you're going against. This is going to be striving for power, for fame, for proving others wrong, for seeking mastery within a certain skill. Um, um, and this is also going to be the desire to be the best. And I would say out of all these, this is probably going to be the darkest desire and the darkest motivator that does exist for sure. And I would say a person that definitely is the epitome of this madness, right? This is going to be. I probably can name a few examples. Let's just say like Michael Jordan, for example. He's definitely a person that has tapped into the madness where he has to be slightly like damn near psychotic in order to reach that level of greatness. He's definitely going to be the epitome of that for sure. Let me see if I can name another one. It has to be the people that take it to an extreme, that truly take it to an extreme where they become so immersed within their skill, their passion, their business, whatever it is. Kobe is another one. Shout out to Andrew. Appreciate for stopping by. Kobe's definitely another one for sure. I'm trying to think who's another one, man. They don't really have a football equivalent. Like, yeah, they don't really have a football equivalent. I would say Tom Brady. I would say he's not exactly like super immersed within that. Obviously, he's GOAT still, but yeah. And then the last one, this is going to be purpose, right? So purpose can look different for every single person, but essentially this is going to be based off of creating change or making an impact in people's lives, helping others out, and also self-actualization, which is basically becoming aware of your own self, and yeah, just basically becoming more clear on what the things that you want to go ahead and do, pursue in this life. So that is going to be the purpose, right? So for me, for example, like I said, I want you to let me know out of those four, which one or two resonate with you the absolute most. For me, when I at first was introduced to this concept, the two that resonated with me most, which was individuality and purpose. I'm a person who is very, very purpose driven, always have been and always will be. Right? It is part of my motto. And with that being said, yeah, purpose was definitely an easy one, and it will for sure always be the top, I would say. I'm definitely focused on making change, making an impact, trying to inspire, educate, and empower other people. That is definitely, like I said, my purpose, my defined purpose, and I feel like everyone should have their own specific defined purpose, because if not, then what are you truly living for? And more importantly, the self actualization part, which is something that I've constantly tried to seek, constantly. I wouldn't say tried to seek, constantly. I've always seeked out throughout my entire life, and something that I will continue to do, especially with this specific podcast. Um, and with that being said, the other one was individuality, like I had mentioned, right? This is the potential lifestyle and the recognition. But I would say as of recently, it has switched. It has switched, and the reason how I kind of noticed it switched was because of the defined things that I will discuss later on. Um, it has definitely turned into a madness. I will say that for sure, and in the best way possible, of course. Like I said, it is the darkest out of all of them. But seeking out competition, let's say embracing the opposition, and things like power, fame, proving others wrong. That's probably one of the biggest things for me, and which I'll discuss here in a minute. And then also the desire to be the best, or to have some type of mastery within your craft. This is definitely something that I would say resonates with me more than even individuality, which I'm actually very shocked that it could even top that. But it's definitely a close third, um, which was individuality. Advancement just comes with the territory, I would say. So I would say in my own perspective, that's probably going to be the least important, because it's more of like it's more of what would I say, result of your actions. For example, right, my goal isn't to hit 500 videos, right? My goal was never to hit 100 podcasts. My goal was never to have 100,000 views. It's just gonna be a byproduct of the work that I put in, and the work that I've put in for years, right? So I'm not really like, oh, I can't wait to hit, like, even though I mentioned earlier on the podcast, it's something that is worth mentioning, right? But isn't something that I'm like super super fueled by, because quite frankly, I probably could have already smashed 500 videos a while ago if I wanted to. But it's gonna come when it's gonna come, and that is just the way it is. So, like I had mentioned, out of those four, I want you to go ahead and let me know in the comments whether you're watching this or rewatching this. I want you to go ahead and let me know what two out of the four truly motivate you and truly help drive you to become the person that you want to be. So, with that being said, these these should all be combined and defined specifically to bring out the best within you, right? So I'm not gonna say you should only focus on two, right? You should focus on all of them. Truly, all of them should be of focus, to some in some type of capacity. But with that being said, knowing which one works best for you, and also tapping into that a little bit deeper than the average person would, is definitely going to be way more ideal for you. And with that being said, this should give you a clearer sense of direction and purpose of what you exactly want to do and how you want to do it, and the main focuses that you want to go ahead and focus on. And yeah, I would just say it's really as simple as that. And like I said, I'm going to give you some of the examples that I have definitely came across recently, and I would say as of recently, some of these have changed because of my current life circumstance. So yeah, I'll definitely talk about that here in a minute. But yeah, like I said, let me know in the comments, man. If you're on the Twitch chat, let me know for sure as well. All right, let's get back to it. So like I had mentioned, so some of these things, I feel like you should just be without having this structure of the advancement, madness, individuality, and purpose. I want you to go ahead and let me know some things that truly are emotional motivators. Maybe this is proving other people wrong. Maybe this is proving. Well, I'll give you the first one. The first one is going to be one of the ones that falls into madness. This is something that I feel like every man should definitely adopt and have this mindset. And if you have not gotten to the point where you can have this mindset, this should be a main thing that drives you for sure. This is something that drives me, and something that, like I said, is one of those dark things that you must tap into. This is something that I say to myself. You have to prove all the women who didn't choose you wrong, period. They didn't choose you, and you must make them regret not choosing you, right? This is something that I would say I take very, very seriously. It's something that I would say probably a lot of men take very, very seriously, or at the very least should take very, very seriously, because they didn't choose you. They didn't choose you. They didn't see the potential. They didn't see the greatness with inside of you, right? They thought that they could do better, right? So that they didn't choose you, right? With that being said, this should be one of the ones that truly should motivate you, because what is there pretty much more to say after that, right? They didn't choose you. They thought they could do better than you, right? And your main mission should be getting to the point where they regret their decision. They have no other choice but to sit with themselves and say, I fucked up, right? That's the ultimate motivator for me, for I would say one of them for sure. And like I said, that is going to be tapping into the madness out of the four. Mine is facts no printer, of course. Andrew, come on, no, you're in the time it is, man. Mine is proving others wrong for how they have perceived me all these years, as well as women, and prove myself right now, well as the people in need. To make other people in need throughout other countries fulfilled. Okay, for sure. But yeah, those, like I said, that's not specifically the four. But yeah, I know, I understand what you're exactly saying. But with that, like I said, without those four, what specifically motivates you? What are certain things that come to mind? And you don't particularly have to define them in those four, but there's going to be certain things that should fuel you. For example, I'll give you another one. And like I said, these should give you some type of like emotional pull. These give me an emotional pull when I think about them. When I think about them for an extended period of time, they definitely give me an emotional pull. And this is going to be, and I want you to kind of figure this out for yourself, right? I gave you the first example of proving all the women that didn't choose me wrong, right? That is definitely a big motivator of mine, which falls into the madness. Another one is going to be my grandparents, right? They're not going to live forever, so I must work like hell in order to show them, in order to prove them right, truly, right? In order to prove them right, and also prove who I said that I am to them, right? That's very, very important to me as well. And yeah, that is something that I would say, yeah, I would say speaks for itself. Truly, it truly speaks for itself. And maybe there's something that you could take from those specific things that I had mentioned, right? That you can apply that to your own life. That could give you that emotional trigger. And with these certain things and these certain focuses early on in your day that give you that emotional reaction, that should hopefully spark something within you. And if it truly doesn't, then you need to think deeper. Your purpose needs to be more vivid. And the more vivid it is, the more you're going to be able to take action based off of that, right? So I'll give you another example. Let's just say you have a kid, or let's say you want to have kids. That should be another one that truly pushes you forward. That truly gives you that emotional reaction. So another one that I have written down is going to be, you have a wife to marry and children to raise, right? These are things that, like I had mentioned, they must give you some type of emotional reaction, right? And one thing I want to mention with this as well, this is going to be one of the things that I had written down in my notepad. I wish I put the date down. I want to say maybe like a year and a half ago. It was, why am I waking up this morning? Like I said, starting with the right focus is something that I will constantly reiterate is ideal. One of the things that I had written is, I want to make my future wife and children, whatever now. Give me a second. Hold on, man. I can't remember it, man. I said it every day, but I can't remember for whatever reason. Right here, to build the man my wife and children will love and respect. That is definitely a huge one for sure, right? So, yeah, I have a wife to marry and I have children to raise. Obviously, I don't have them right now, but having that right focus, because that is something that I truly want, and it's something that you should definitely evaluate for yourself, specifically what you want to have and what you don't want to have within this life. But those things should motivate you, right? Because here's the thing, you're truly in competition, right? You're truly in competition with every other man or every other woman to get what you want, because what you want is what everybody wants, right? And you can't just get it. It's just not going to be there for you. You must go out and earn it, You must put the work in order to get that, because if not, somebody else is going to be outworking you for the same thing that you want, right? Yeah, it's simple. It's as simple as that, man. Hold on, let me read some of these comments real quick. For me as well, building a better generation of young men after me, as well as doing this for my family because my family raised me well, so it's the least I could do. KJ, you're exactly right, man. I really, really like that, man. I like that right there. You are our pride because you do what you say you'll do. Exactly, exactly. Shout out to Grandma. Come on now. Yeah, these things are very, very important, man. Like I said, these things should give you that emotional reaction. I'm gonna constantly keep reiterating that because that's exactly what needs to be said. And I'm only emphasizing it. I'm only repeating it because it truly needs to be emphasized. And yeah, like I said, what is that for you? When you watching this right now, what is that for you? And I would also recommend you writing this down or keeping it in your notes within your phone, right? So you can constantly come back to this, revise this. If you're feeling down, or if you're feeling unmotivated, or if you're feeling lazy, whatever it is, reading these things should get you to go ahead and force you to do some type of action. And if you're able to do that, you're going to be in a good position, because truly most people, they just stick with those certain things and they don't get up because they don't have the right focuses, right? Their mind is so distracted, their mind is so focused on things that are unimportant. But if you're able to start your day with the right focuses, saying, "Hey, I want to do better for me and my family," right? My family is not living the life that I would like them to live. My family is struggling. Maybe your family is struggling, right? My family is struggling. I want to be the person that takes away that struggle from them, right? Certain phrases like that should definitely resonate with you. And if they resonate with you, add that to the fuel to the flame. That's all I got to say right there. That's all I got to say. These are emotional motivators, man. If you don't have any, if you're not focused on these things, if these things aren't a constant focus for you, you're going to get easily distracted. You're going to just start to do things that truly don't matter. It's as simple as that, man. It's as simple as that. So I'll give you some more. I'll give you some more of the ones that I got. But like I said, I want you to hear me out on the things that I'm talking about and the ways in which I'm talking about them. And more importantly, figure out what that is for you. Like I said, if you're watching this right now, the best thing that you possibly can do, not only listen to me, but also specifically write down the things that resonate with you and the things that make you think. The things that make you think and the things that make you emotional. Because that's something that Patrick Bet-David has always said. If you want to find out your why should always provoke emotion. And if it doesn't provoke emotion, it's not big enough. It's not important enough, right? And the second it can be important and big enough, that's where it's going to be undeniable, and you must have no other choice but to act, because that's all you can do, right? Give me 1 second. Getting into the next thing. This is going to be another one. Like I said, I'm giving you some insight of the ways in which I think. This next one is going to be, you need to retire your mom and dad. They are unconsciously struggling. That's another one that's huge, right? Maybe you watching this right now. Maybe you want to retire your parents. Maybe you want to retire your grandparents. Maybe that's a big focus for you, or a big goal that you want to go ahead and accomplish within this life, right? That is definitely a huge one for me, right? So I'm gonna repeat that one more time. You need to retire your mom and dad. They are unconsciously struggling. That, like I said, that says a whole lot right there, man. That says a whole lot, because these are things of my focus, man. These are very, very important, man. These are important things to me, right? And like I mentioned, what is important to you? What do you need to write down? What gives you that emotional reaction? What do you want to do with this life? What I'm asking all these questions because these questions need to be answered. You need to be the one to answer these questions. And the second you're able to answer these questions is the second you're going to have that clearer vision of what you want to do and how you want to do it. Because it's just not good enough just to sit down and succumb to your lazy impulses, or succumb to any impulse that's truly not pushing you in the right direction, right? People get caught up within this game of life time and time again, and let their impulses get the better of them. And it's because they truly do not have the right focuses, because they truly do not care. That's what it comes down to. And if you're watching this, you should care to an extent. You should care. What does that look like for you? Like I said, if you're watching this right now, the best thing you possibly can do is write this stuff down, man. Write down what really resonates with you. Another one that I'll get into as well. This is going to be, stop wasting your time and your potential. Now, those are two things that I value. I don't know what you value watching this, but I know two things that I value. At the top of my value hierarchy, these are things that I value. My time. I don't like my time being wasted at all in any capacity. I don't like my time being wasted. You watching this right now, you probably feel the same. Hopefully, if you don't care for your time to be wasted, I don't know what to tell you, man. That's all I'm saying. But another thing that I hate or I would hate is for my potential to be wasted. Right? That's something that truly is something that's not ideal. Right? And you watching this, that should not be ideal for you as well. To waste your potential. First, you must believe you do have potential, even if no matter how old you are, right? No matter how old you are, no matter how deep into the game you are, you should believe that you have potential, and you should also believe that certain actions are going to be resulting in you wasting your time and potential. That is the way that I see it personally. Obviously, that's going to be something that people say, "Oh, maybe you're taking it a little too serious, man." I'm not, man. Some people could say I'm not taking it serious enough, and I'm doing more than most people, right? So, like I said, these things should give you that emotional reaction, right? Stop wasting your time and stop wasting your potential because, quite frankly, no one's going to do it besides you. You're the only one. You're the only one that's going to set the limit on your potential. That's what it comes down to. Your daily actions dictate whether you have a high potential or whether you don't have a high potential. If you're acting in accordance every single day to the things that you know you need to do, your potential is going to be high. But if you're rejecting that, you're pushing off your progress. You're pushing off your potential and you're wasting your time. Do you want to be wasting your time and potential? Hopefully not. But like I said, write these things down, man. These things are of absolute paramount importance. These things should be making you think and say, "Man, I don't want this to happen," or "I want this to happen," right? Or "I need this to happen," right? All these things, or "I will make this happen," right? These things should be these things should be hopefully resonating with you. Appreciate everyone for stopping by. Like I said, if you have any specific comments or specific questions regarding anything that I'm mentioning today, I want you to go ahead and leave in the comments. But I'm gonna get back. I want to reiterate before I finish up with the rest of the things that I mentioned for the people that are new. I'm gonna reiterate the four things that truly can give you this. They're gonna be the four foundational things um, that drive people in general, right? These four things are going to be advancement, individuality, madness, and purpose, right? You must figure out, and I would also love for you guys to comment what specifically resonates with you. So I'm gonna go ahead and reiterate what I had mentioned earlier. Advancement. This is going to be advancing to the next goal, meeting a deadline, or accomplishing a task. This could be like, getting to the 500th video uploaded. This could be accomplishing and checking off your daily objective, right? These certain things are weekly objective or monthly objective or yearly objective, right? These things could potentially give you this motivating factor to go ahead and advance, right? That's what it is. That's going to be the first one. And the next one is going to be individuality. This could be potential lifestyle or recognition, right? Potential lifestyle can mean a whole lot, but ultimately, it's all going to fall down within this sector of individuality, right? The next one, and like I said, is the darkest one of them all. And this is definitely something that I've tapped into as of recently a lot more. This is going to be madness, like I'd mentioned, competition, seeking opposition. This is going to be um, being driven by power, maybe fame, maybe proving others wrong, maybe seeking out mastery, and also the desire to be the best, right? Or at the very least, the best that you possibly can be, right? That's all going to be in the element of madness. Like I'd mentioned earlier, the perfect example of this is the Michael Jordans of the world, the Kobe Bryants of the world, right? The Drakes of the world, right? Those are the people that, or maybe even Kanye, right? Like I said, I know some people don't like Kanye, but quite frankly, it is what it is. He has that it factor when it comes to trying to be the best, trying to strive for more, trying to be better than other people, striving to prove other people wrong, right? Those are going to be all elements that fall within some of these people that I mentioned earlier. Another one, and the final one out of the four things that drive people, this is going to be purpose. Purpose to make change within the world, to impact people, to help others out, and also self actualization, trying to figure out who you are and making sure that vision is clear for you and your potential, right? Like I had mentioned, for me, the two that resonate with me most is going to be purpose and madness, and with the third one being individuality for sure. Very, very close behind madness. But what is that for you? Out of those four, which two resonate with you? I want you to go and leave them in the comments. Like I mentioned, whether you're rewatching this or watching this live, you definitely have a chance to go ahead and contribute. Which two of those four definitely help you out the most? And I'll give you another one right now for mine as well, because this one right here is definitely one that I've thought about a lot more recently. This could resonate with a lot of different people for a lot of different reasons. But as of recently, this has been one that's it's been undeniable for me, truly, truly undeniable for me to think about, or to not think about, rather. But yeah, man, if you're watching this, man, you have the opportunity to go ahead and contribute, man. KJ, where you at, man? GDP, where you at, man? Where y'all at in the comments? Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. All right. All right. Getting into the next one. This is going to be, like I said, another one that should hopefully provoke some type of emotional reaction out of you. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it, KJ. Like I said, hopefully y'all in your notes, man. Straight spin fire tonight. Appreciate it, fellas. This next one, like I said, is going to be one that definitely should provoke emotional reaction out of everybody. Rather, there's going to be certain things that I say that might not resonate with you, and that's completely fine because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, quite frankly. You must be writing down and focusing and emphasizing the things that truly resonate with you. Now, with me, this is a huge one, right? And I feel like this specific one should be one that everybody pretty much needs to write down on their list for sure. This is going to be: you never know how much time you have with the people you love. You need to work for them, and it's your responsibility to give them the life that they deserve, or that you believe that they deserve, right? You have limited time with the people that you love in this life. If you guys are not living the life that you want them to live, it is your responsibility. You must take that upon yourself and make the best of it, right? Work your ass off in order to go ahead and provide this life for the ones that you love, right? Maybe they're struggling right now. And like I had mentioned, right, you never know how much time you have with them. They could be gone tomorrow, right? God forbid that they are gone tomorrow, but they could be gone tomorrow, and you never know. And here's the thing: you need to at least be trying your best, because at the very least, if it were to happen, like I said, God forbid it does happen, at least you could say you tried your best. But if you're not trying your best, you're gonna be kicking your own ass for the rest of your life, saying I could have did more, I could have been better. That's not a life that I want to live, man. And hopefully you watching this right now, hopefully that's not a life you want to live. To say, like I said, God forbid it happens, but let's just say somebody that's really, really close to you dies tomorrow, right? Do you truly feel like you've done everything that you could have done to make sure that they live the best life that they possibly could have lived? And most people, unfortunately, would say no. And that's just what it comes down to. That's just me being real, man. But at the end of the day, these things should have that emotional pull towards you. As of recently, like I mentioned, this one more specifically has definitely more of an emotional pull as of recently, for whatever reason. But nonetheless, these things should fire you up, man. These things should get you thinking. These things should have you have a keen focus. These things should be able to get you up in the morning and get you out of a lazy state. Because like I mentioned, you never know how much time you're going to have with the ones that you truly love. So you must work. You must work for those people, man. You must work for the people that you could potentially lose, man. You must work for the people that you love, because you have no other option. You have no other choice within this life. That's all you should be working for. That's all you should be striving for. And it's as simple as that, man. I'll give you another one here in a minute. This is definitely another one that definitely resonates with me. Like I said, just like all these, resonates with me for sure, for sure. But like I had mentioned, I'm gonna mention this a few more times within this podcast. But like I said, I must reiterate this. Anything and everything that you can think of that truly gives you that emotional pull, I want you to write it down. I want you to have these things, and I want you to refer to this list as much as you possibly can, and especially in the moments where you definitely need to, because there are going to be moments when you need to. You're not going to be always 100% motivated. You're not always going to be 100% self-disciplined, but in those moments, you must take some fuel, man. You must have a different vision for the focus, right? Because truly, if you're even in that state, your focuses aren't right. You're not focusing on the right things, and that's okay. Well, it's not. First of all, it's not okay, but it's okay because hopefully you're going to be refocusing on the things that you truly need to be focusing on, instead of just being constantly distracted, right? Most people in this life are distracted. Most people in life don't have the right focuses, and hopefully, moving forward, you're not one of those people, because you have this list that you can refer back to, right? I have plenty of lists that I can refer back to. That's just what I built for myself. Now, what have you built for yourself? What have you done for yourself? What have you giving yourself when you fall down and when you're in those moments where you don't want to get up, you want to be lazy? What do you have to reiterate, man? What do you have to refocus back in on? What are the correct focuses? Because at the very least, if you're in the conscious moment, you can at least create a list of where you could potentially say, if there's anything that I need to focus on, it's this right here. If you don't have that for yourself, then you're going to be more inclined to be lazy. You're going to be more inclined to be less self-disciplined. You're going to be more inclined to feel less motivated. And obviously, those are all less than ideal states of mind. All right, let me read some of these comments, man. Champ, you are right, man. God forbid if my parents did die tomorrow, I wouldn't be proud of what I have done, and I gotta change the ways for my loved ones. Fuck the haters, man. You know what time it is, KJ. You know what time it is, man. Keep going no matter what happens, no matter how you feel. Exactly. He's spitting facts, man. He's spitting facts. But that's what ultimately comes down to, man. He has the right focus. KJ has the right focus, man. KJ has the right focus. He's the one who's been tapped in on the podcast. He's watched the most podcasts pretty much out of everybody. He has the right focus. And here's the thing, like I said, if anything, you guys need to be more like KJ, because KJ knows what time it is, man. He knows what time it is. He knows what focuses to have and what focuses he needs to avoid from himself, right? And hopefully you can just be just like that, man. Because like I said, if not, you're going to be living within regret. And the last thing that anyone wants to feel is regret in this life. You should strive to not feel regret in this life. If you watching this right now feel any type of regret within life, it is your responsibility with the time that God has given you for the rest of your existence to go ahead and make sure that you do something with that and not just waste it. Because here's the thing, you could be focusing on the past and talking about how you didn't do things and how you could have done things better, or you could be thinking about the future and saying, I'm going to do the things that I set out for myself, right? Those are the things that should be of your focus. You can't control the past, but hopefully the past motivates you for the future. Because that's all you have. That's all you have. That's all you can do. Instead of feeling sorry for yourself, instead of feeling like a failure, what can you do in the present moment? Because you can do something in the present moment. What can you do in the future? Who knows what you can do in the future? You got to think about these things, man. You got to think about these things. I'll give you another one of mine, man. Another one of my emotional, what did I call it? Emotional motivators. This one is going to be, I will be free. This is a thing that is at the top of my value hierarchy. This is going to be freedom, right? Freedom in any and every aspect of life, right? Time freedom, location freedom, mind freedom, freedom regardless, right? I will be free. I will set my family free from the shackles of society. That is a goal of mine, right? This is an emotional motivator. I realize exactly the state that I'm in, unfortunately, and that my family's in. And with that being said, I recognize these things, and I recognize what I know I need to do in order to change these things. Because quite frankly, I'm not living the existence that I would love to live right now. And you watching this, you're probably not living the existence that you would like to live in either. With that being said, we both have the option to go ahead and change. So that's what we have to do. We have no other choice, right? I want to be free. I will be free in this life. I will be mind free, location free, time free. It's what it comes down to, man. These things, like I said, should give you that emotional reaction, because if not, then you're not focusing on the right things, right? You should want that for yourself, right? Do you want to be a victim of society, right? Do you want to be a slave to society? Do you want to be free? Come on now. It's definitely something I think about for sure, man. I'll give you another one. This one's going to be, I have a few more, so like I said, at the very least, if you're not typing in the comments, man, I hopefully at least writing some of these things down, because these things are worth your time, man. There's nothing right now that is worth more than your time, than you being able to refer back to the things that truly need to be focused in on, especially in the moments of when you're down and out, when you're not feeling motivated. If you have the right focuses, this is going to put you in a great position. The next one I have is, I have to be the leader that my family needs. Now, this forces me to take responsibility of the current circumstance that my family exists in with right now. Right? If it's not an ideal circumstance, I have to be the one that changes something. I have to be the one that leads my family somewhere where I want to go, where I would like my family to be, right? Now, what is that for you? Do you feel like you're the leader? Do you feel that responsibility for your own life and for your family's lives? Do you feel that same way? Like I said, add it to your list if you feel that same exact way. If you don't, then you don't, man. Like I said, if there's something else that resonates with you, or maybe you're staking all your chips in somebody else in your family, then maybe that's what you need to do. Maybe you need to say, you know what? I'm not that person within my family, and it's okay if you're not that person. Quite frankly, I believe I am this person for my family, right? And my family believes that I'm that person as well. With that being said, if you don't feel like you're that person, at the very least you could say I can help that person that is that person, right? Because that's ultimately what anybody would want, right? If that's something that I would want for myself as well, for my family as well, for them to recognize this and contribute back to me. That's something that's particularly ideal within my own circumstance. And like I'd mentioned, if you're evaluating your own family circumstance, right? If you know somebody's like that, maybe it's your father, maybe it's your brother, maybe it's your sister, maybe it's your mother, right? Whatever it is, maybe it's your cousin. What can you do to contribute more to that person? How could you make that person better? How could you make their life easier, so your entire family's lives could be easier for the rest of your life, right? That's something that you need to evaluate for sure. Getting to the next thing. This is another one. This is another one that I feel like a lot of people are going to resonate with. And if you specifically resonate with this one, I want you to go ahead and leave it in the comments. Give me 1 second, man. This next one's going to be, I have to break the generational curse that has been placed on the ones who came before me. That's what it is, man. I believe for the better or for the worse, man. There's been certain set ways or set patterns that I've recognized that have happened to the ones who came before me in my own life, in my family, right? That I do not want to relive these certain patterns of existence. I want to be the one that breaks the chain, man. That breaks the pattern that I've recognized, right? And it takes a special type of someone to go ahead and do these things, because quite frankly, not everyone's built to do these things. And if you're a person watching this and you're one that is also fallen along with the generational curse, you should hopefully motivate somebody, the next person up. Maybe it's, like I said, maybe it's your little brother, maybe it's your little sister, maybe it's your cousin, right? To say you can be the one that changes everything for all of us, because that is what it is, right? That is what it is. But hopefully you watching this right now, or you're on the same type of trajectory. Maybe you're on the same type of path that I'm on right now. I believe that I am the one that breaks the generational curse that exists within some of the generational curses within my own family. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and do. That's my responsibility, right? And if like I mentioned, if you have that right focuses, you have the right things in mind, man, you're going to be in a good position. Because quite frankly, what else do you have to do, man? Like I said, there's really nothing you could be doing better within your own life than to have these focuses, than to write down and refer back to these when they need to be referred back to. That's all you can do. That's all you should do, man. So like I said, what does that look like for you? What certain things that resonate with you that I mentioned on today's podcast? What are certain things that, outside of the podcast, outside of the things that I had mentioned, that are specifically unique to you and your circumstance, that you feel like motivate you, that give you that emotional reaction? What are those things for you? Write those things down, man. Like I said, I'm going to reiterate this few more times before I end the podcast. Make a list. I have my list. Do you have your list? You should have your list. Simple, man. It's as simple as that. And hopefully you guys are not commenting because you guys are writing the stuff down, man, because this is important, man. This is very, very important. This is gonna be another one. This is gonna be another dark madness one, but nonetheless needs to be mentioned for sure. All right. Actually, now that I think about it, the rest that I have, the three that I have, are going to be all dark of the madness motivator. That's what I'll say. These three things, I'll read them all, but these are all things that have constantly been resonating with me for a long time now, right? I have to prove myself right, and I have to prove others wrong, right? That's a responsibility that you must take for yourself, right? There's going to be certain things that exist. And where you need to prove yourself right. Maybe it's what you say, maybe it's what you do. Maybe if you follow along with these things, you're proving yourself right. Maybe you set out a goal, maybe you set out a mission for yourself, maybe you set out a purpose, and you need to prove yourself right by doing the things that you know you need to do, right? And with that being said, you indirectly do this, And maybe somebody's counted you out, and hopefully you use that specific person to hopefully prove them wrong one day. Or maybe you could prove them wrong every single day by acting in accordance to what would prove you right, right? If you prove yourself right, you're ultimately indirectly going to prove others wrong. You must have this underdog mindset, right? This is going to be one of the most important things, and something that I will carry on with the rest of my life. This underdog mindset, this feeling the need to prove others wrong. There's people that have doubted you, the people who said what you're doing is goofy. There's people who said that you couldn't do the things you set out to go ahead and do. Those people should motivate you. Those people should say, you should say to those people, I'm going to prove you wrong, and I'm going to make sure every single day I'm not falling off just to prove you wrong, right? And I'm sure a lot of people can resonate with that as well. Prove yourself right the only way you can prove others wrong is by proving yourself right and saying you could do it in the first place, right? If you're able to do that, able to have that right focus, you're going to be in a good position, man. The next one that I have, and like I said, I have two more. This is going to go hand in hand with proving others wrong, right? I have to do it for the people who couldn't see the vision, right? There's certain people who don't see the vision that I have set out for myself, and that is completely fine, right? If you don't see it, that's fine. But what I have written down is something that I've always said is, I'm going from underrated to undeniable. From overlooked to overbooked. That's something that I've always said to myself, right? You must do it for the people who couldn't see the vision. I've tried to explain the vision to a few people. I have, right? Most people who have truly understood exactly what I have mentioned, who have actually tried to hear me out, they see the vision, right? But for the people who couldn't see the vision, for the people who think I'm foolish for doing the things that I'm doing, I have to do it for them. Not only do I have to do it for the people who love and support me, but I have to do it for the people who hate on me. I have to do it for the people who said I couldn't do it, right? You have to do it for those people, man. Those people should motivate you. And like I said, it's one of those darker motivations, but nonetheless, it could truly work. It could truly work wonders for you, and it definitely works wonders for me. That's for sure. Because quite frankly, if you don't see it, man, that's okay, man. Because everybody's gonna see. Everybody's gonna see, man. It's what it is. You must internalize this, and the second you're able to internalize this, the second you're able to remain focused with this specific thing that I just had mentioned, you're going to be in a good position. Especially if you can constantly remind yourself. And the last one, hold on, let me read this. Being part of a change also means taking what the elders say seriously. We don't always have to learn the hard way. You're exactly right. I'm definitely a person who's definitely not had to learn the hard way on a lot of different things, and it's because I'm a great observer, right? And hopefully you watching this, hopefully you're a great observer as well. There's a difference between, what is it what they say? They say average people learn from their mistakes, and above average people learn from the mistakes of others, right? In order to be above average, you must learn and be a conscious observer of the problems that everybody has within society, the problems that people have within your family, right? And you must avoid these things altogether, right? And here's the thing, with that being said, you're going to be misunderstood and people are not going to understand you. People are going to encourage you in ways that you truly do not understand. But at the same time, like he had mentioned, like GDP had mentioned, right? We don't have to always learn the hard way. Simple as that, man. Simple as that. And I mentioned that before on a podcast. I think it's called something along the lines of acquired wisdom versus experience, right? So I would say, obviously, experience is paramount to most people. In my opinion, it's not the most ideal or paramount for me. The most ideal for me is going to be this should be what the conversation should be actually. But you'll hear the elders say, "Oh yeah, it's all about experience, all about experience." But what's better than experience is acquired wisdom. Is wisdom that came from the experiences of other people who came before you. If you're able to take that and do something with that, you're going to be in a better position than any of the people who needed to learn from experience. That's what it comes down to, man. That's what it comes down to. Getting into it, the last one that I have, and this is one that you'll hear me say time and time again. If you see me posting about it, you already know what time it is, man. And I'm sure you watching this, if you've kept up with me for a little bit now, you probably know that I've mentioned this before. I don't know if I particularly mentioned this on a podcast, but I'll definitely mention it today, man. This is a good one. This is probably one of the darkest ones that I have. This is going to be, I will always have the last laugh. Whatever it is, whatever context you can apply it to, I will always have the last laugh. Whether this is a person who counted me out, whether this is a girl who didn't choose me, whether this is the competition, right? I will always have the last laugh. I will always be the one that's putting in the work that no one sees. I will always be doing the things that I know I need to do. And with that being said, I will always have the last laugh, right? If you're able to internalize that one, that you're going to be in a good position. I don't necessarily know where I got that one, but it's something that I've taken for such a long time. But yeah, I will always have the last laugh, regardless of what it is. If you're watching this and you hate on me, I will always have the last laugh, man. I will always prove you wrong. There's certain mindsets like that put people ahead, and that also leave people behind. Something that I recommend for sure. If you could tap in with that one as well, like I said, it's going to be one of those dark ones. But nonetheless, if you either understand or you don't, and if you don't, that's completely fine. Because some people watching this are going to understand what I'm talking about. But yes, I will always have the last laugh. You can apply that to damn near almost any context. But just know, I will have the last laugh. If you beat me today, that's fine. You beat me today. But you're not going to beat me for the rest of life. I'll tell you that right now. Right? Certain things like that. Oh, you didn't choose me today? You thought you could choose somebody better? That's completely fine. I will always have the last laugh at the end of the day. I will always find somebody better than you. I will always improve. That's what it comes down to. And those certain things, like I said, those certain mindsets, even though they're dark, they can go a long way, man. They can go a long way. And I feel like people sleep on these certain mindsets. People sleep on these emotional motivators, truly. But if you're able to internalize them and apply them to your own life and constantly be focused on these certain things, you're going to be in a better position than damn near anybody that you know. Because most people aren't doing this. Yes, sir, man. Come on now. KJ already knows the time it is, man. Yes, sir, man. Yes, sir. But yeah, that's pretty much what it comes down to for this podcast. Hopefully you have taken something from this. Hopefully you've created your own list, because if you haven't, somebody's getting the last laugh on you. If you refuse to make this, that is completely fine. You're letting people down, and by letting people down, you're also, I know nobody wants to hear that either. So hopefully you do make the list, because if you don't, then somebody else is having the last laugh. Somebody else is recognizing what you could have done better with your life, and they're saying, you know what, I'm going to do that, right? Your enemy has a list. That's all I'm going to say. Your enemy has a list, so you either try to compete or you're getting outworked, man. And here's the thing, man. Y'all already know the podcast motto, man. We'll end it off with the podcast motto. Oh yeah, I'll end it off, man. This is episode 148 of the Life of a Champ podcast. And on today's episode, we were discussing the emotional motivators, adding fuel to the fire, man. Adding fuel to your fire, more importantly, right? And to end it off, man, I'll leave you guys with the podcast motto. Fellas out here, man, we don't just work around here, man. We outwork. So make sure y'all working these motherfuckers, because you know that I am. Like I said, I'm about to head to the gym here in a minute. But I appreciate everyone for stopping by. Like I said, hopefully you've taken some utility from this podcast. And hopefully you've added to your list, because like I had mentioned, if you don't add to your list, your enemy, your opponent is definitely adding to this list. And if you don't add to your list, or if you don't even have a list at all, just know your enemy's having the last laugh. And who knows, maybe I am your enemy. Maybe I'm having the last laugh and you're not. But at the end of the day, you're the only one that can truly control that. So act like you do have control, man. That's pretty much what I have to say for today's podcast. I appreciate you for stopping by. The next podcast will be on Tuesday. Tap in with that for sure. I should be having a few guests on, so I look forward to that. Next week should be full of guests, so definitely look into that for sure as well. If there's any specific guests that you want me to go ahead and have on a future date that I maybe potentially have had on previously, definitely let me know. And like I had mentioned, if there's any specific podcast topics or questions that you have for me that you think would be good to cover in an entire podcast, definitely let me know for sure. But other than that, you guys have a good rest of your night. Tap in with the podcast on Tuesday. Hopefully, I'll be having another music live stream here soon. I don't know when specifically, but like I said, the guy over here and over here, right? He'll be dropping an album soon, and I'll definitely go ahead and listen to that live. But I appreciate you for stopping by. Like I said, hopefully you guys taking something from this. And all I had to say, I'll work these motherfuckers, man. That's all you can do. That's all you should do. And that's all you will do, man. Y'all have a good night, man.